the final One Piece of the year. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Piece, episode 1153, and the final reaction to One Piece we're doing of the year. The cold open is a little misleading. I said the final one of the year, but there are technically 2 more episodes this year. Unfortunately, my break, my winter break, end of the year break that I do every year, takes place after this week. So the only thing like going up on the channel after this week until we come back for 2026 is going to be like the final part of the holiday special. Meaning that the last 2 episodes of One Piece, the last 2 episodes of this arc, will have to wait, unfortunately. I'd say it's something I can't help, but technically I guess I could, but I'm not gonna. Because I'm sticking with my plan. I'm sticking with like my already set like schedule, and we're going with it. But we will get to the final 2 episodes right away at the beginning of next year, on the first Monday of the year, which I think is the 5th, I want to say. Let me just make sure here. Where's my calendar? There it is. Yes, Monday the 5th of January. So both of the last 2 episodes of Egghead will be posted there. And then, as you know, One Piece will then be on hiatus until April. Because of this stupid shit they're pulling. But yeah. So, all things considered, that's kind of now the plan. But we do have this one episode to get to still, to close out 2025. And although it won't close out the arc, I'm very curious to see what we get as for the last One Piece of the year, in terms of reactions. We're working on the escape. Like, everything's starting to go kind of according to plan. Atlas sacrificed herself to stop Nishijuro from stopping, the Sunny from getting to the giant ship or the water or both or whatever. We took out Saturn, Bonnie, Frankie, Sanji, and Luffy. Worked together on that. No. They all worked together for Mars. It was just Bonnie and Luffy on Saturn. Luffy let Bonnie take the main hit, but he followed up with a Gatling as a support. And while he might have done more damage, technically speaking, Bonnie was still allowed the main hit because it was her fight. So we're really taking care of the ones that are, I guess you could say, the most dangerous, the most problematic. So, yeah. It does make sense. It does track. I guess we don't really have too much else stopping us at the moment, so I'm very curious as, what else we might get in these episodes. Is there more to Vegapunk's message? What are we going to have with Emmett? I assume Emmett's probably going to stop the rest of the Gorosei from trying to chase. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Either way, we're going to get into this and just see what we have in store, so let's get going. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So amongst all the tropes, amongst all the themes of One Piece, I've said it time and time again, but the one that resonates with me the most, and honestly also what I think is probably the biggest theme of One Piece, is that of found family. One Piece's entire story, thematic elements, just everything revolves around it so heavily. And it's not even something that just applies to the Straw Hats. The idea of found family can apply to like a lot of different groups in this. The Revolutionary Army, you can absolutely count for that too. Other pirate crews you can absolutely count, such as the red-haired pirates, just as a random example. Now, not every group in this you can consider to be a found family. The likes of Baroque Works or the Blackbeard Pirates, I wouldn't consider them to have that dynamic to them. They're more working and aligning for a shared goal. They're allies, but they're not a found family. But the found family trope still persists nonetheless. And it doesn't have to be like a fully organized crew or whatnot either. We see this in a lot of various different ways, like Zeph with Sanji being his father, even if he's not biologically his father. And things like that. It's this trope that is so central to One Piece. The idea of finding someone who you can connect with on such a profound level that they are family to you, no matter how you know them, how you met them, when you met them, or if they're blood related or not. And to have this episode show us a glimpse at Joy Boy, talking to Emmett and showcasing that is another example that we are directly seeing here of the found family trope, is so important to the core of this story. Because it shows that even these legendary figures that we have heard about and that we're slowly starting to learn more about, even these legendary figures are forming these kind, or had formed these kind of found families. And we already know Joy Boy also had Zunisha and whatnot, so it's like it's not even just with Emmett. But we absolutely see the exact same kind of dynamic here between Joy Boy and Emmett as we do with Luffy and any of his crew. Just the idea of that pure, unadulterated, unquestioning loyalty and love. The way Joy Boy says, like, you use this knot of my hockey whenever you're in danger, whenever you need to protect someone, and, like, long after I'm said and gone, and it'll be like I'm still there with you. And the joy that brings to Emmett, the absolute pure joy. It's like it goes to show you why Joy Boy went by that name and is still known by that name. Like, that's obviously a nickname. Like, duh. Just like Straw Hats is a nickname for Luffy, or Red Hair is a nickname for Shanks, or Hawkeye for Dracula Mihawk. These are all nicknames. They're not their, like, actual names. But Joy Boy is referred to that because of, obviously, the power of Nika, which is said to bring joy, but also just, obviously, the joy that he brought to those closest to him. And we get to see that in example with Emmett here. And we see Emmett sacrifice the last of his life, the last of what was still keeping him going, in order to put his faith in Luffy, Joy Boy's successor, the current holder of the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. He's choosing to put his faith, his life, and the future of the entire world in Luffy's hands. And so he unleashed Joy Boy's Color of the Supreme King to drive off the massive threat still plaguing Egghead, the Gorosei, who he couldn't defeat otherwise. And although for some strange reason Saturn stayed behind, he's definitely done as a threat. That much is very clear. But that's fascinating for a number of reasons. And I think the biggest right off the bat is this shows that Joy Boy might have the strongest Color of the Supreme King of any character we've seen in this series, past or present. Like, we know that Shanks' Color of the Supreme King is strong enough to scare away the likes of Green Bull and Wano, and that his presence alone is enough to stop the war at Marineford. But at the same time, like, I don't know if Shanks' Color of the Supreme King would be enough to drive off pretty much all of the Gorosei, to scare them away into retreating from something that they considered to be a top priority mission. Which is, you know, the only reason that they went out there in the first place. This Color of the Supreme King scared them so much that they had no choice but to retreat. Again, except for Saturn, for some reason. I again, guess he's just too stubborn or something. I don't know. But we might find out next episode. So obviously don't tell me anything, but that just goes in general. But yeah, it's like, that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That of all the characters we've seen and heard of so far, that Joy Boy likely has the strongest Color of the Supreme King, which makes sense. It like tracks. We know Joy Boy was the first ever pirate. And with everything that we, again, slowly learn about with him, it's like it's very likely Joy Boy may have been like the strongest character in the history of this world that we know of. Possibly stronger than Emu, but we don't know that, I guess, for sure. Also, Emu apparently has a handmaiden or something. What the fuck was going on there? But I think it's very possible because even Emu was fucking horrified, terrified by feeling the presence of Joy Boy's Color of the Supreme King. Emu could somehow, by the way, also feel it from that far away over in Marijois, so that's saying a lot as well. That probably has a two-part meaning. It probably shows us, one, how strong that hockey really is, and two, also probably shows us how strong Emu is to be able to feel it from there, because I feel like most people probably wouldn't. And that's why, like, even the Gorosei escaped back to Marijois, because and with Saturn, or not Saturn, Mars just sitting there, it's like implied that, yeah, they can't feel it there. But Emu can. And I don't know if it's because of, like, Emu's power, or Emu just has, like, a really good sense for hockey or something. I don't know. But Emu could feel that hockey from that far away. And it terrified them down to their bones. I think I might have accidentally been saying he for Emu, and we don't technically know that, so they, them is what I should be going for Emu. Until we find out for sure. But it terrified them down to their bones and made them, like, scream out in, like, fear and rage. And it's like, that is a reaction. That shows a lot. Because Emu is like the most terrifying and most like intimidating, just generally speaking, villain we have in this series. Like they are like the pinnacle for all we know at this moment. Probably the final villain. And so to have them who are and they're already that strong be that fucking terrified, that says a lot. Um that's just wild to me. That's such a crazy reveal. And other than that, like this episode showed a lot of the other characters again and had like the final bits, well, the final bits that played of Vegapunk's message. There was seemingly a little bit more, but it cut off. Um I don't know if we'll ever end up finding out what the last bit of that message was, but at least for now it's completely cut off. I'm wondering what's going to happen to York. Because other than her, Lilith is the only remaining Vegapunk. And I don't know if they're going to, like, actually bring her back to Marijois. Because right now she's passed out on Egghead. And if, after all is said and done, Egghead can, like, still gets destroyed by the Buster Call, if she's not brought back to Marijois, she'll be killed too, right? I guess we'll maybe have to see. I would hope they tell us. I hope they don't leave it a mystery and just have like some kind of reveal later down the line. Like, come on, Oda. Give us some answers here. I know you like to keep things secretive, but at least for that, at least for York. There wasn't a lot with Bonnie in this episode because that kind of finished up with the last one. We saw her a little bit, but yeah, her entire thing was kind of mostly done at that point. We did see the rest of the crew escaping on Sunny and being chased by Nisjuro, but of course, Joy Boy's hockey helped stop that. So, we saw them land in the water. All of the Vice Admirals passed out due to the hockey. And yeah, there just really wasn't much of anything else. We haven't checked in with Kizaru since he, like, kind of just passed out on the boat and was sick of everything. So it's like, is he awake? Was he able to withstand the hockey? I mean, I don't know. We didn't, like, see him at all, right? So, of course, he might have already been actually passed out anyway, so I don't know. But this was obviously a really good episode generally, but also because of the reveal of Joy Boy's hockey. It was such like just this huge moment that really the entire episode revolved around. And even seeing like Luffy's reaction to that, like Luffy was pretty shaken by it. He was able to withstand it, probably because he's in Nika form, I would wager. But, like, he was able to withstand it, but you could tell it shook him. Like, that actually affected him. Notably so. And not, like, in a way like it was going to cause him to pass out or anything. Or, like, even got close. But no, it more, like, shook him to his core, like, because he felt how powerful and how important that hockey was. It's more that it just affected him on a deep personal level, which makes sense. But yeah, it's like that was just so unexpected. Having a knot of Joy Boy's hockey all of this time later. That's insane. I don't really have anything more to say about it. It's just, that was such a crazy twist, such a crazy reveal. And I'm glad we got to hear Joy Boy's voice a little bit more again. I don't remember the actress's name at the time, but as I said back a couple episodes ago, I think it was something like that, 2, 3 episodes ago, when we first heard his voice, it's like it's the same voice actress who voiced Luffy in the original '90s OVA, and I just think that's just really fucking cool. So I really wanted to hear her performance as Joy Boy again, and we got it here. Got a lot more of it too. And it showed like flashbacks with Roger and everything as well. And did Roger's voice change again? Because Roger's voice has changed like what, once or twice before? Because I know the Roger you hear at the very beginning of the series is not the same voice as you hear in like Wano, for example. And I mean, there could be multiple reasons for a voice change. We know there's been multiple characters in this series who have changed voices, from Jinbei to Frankie to Kizaru. It's like, yeah, there's been multiple reasons and everything, and it's just, it happens. It's going to happen. But I'm just wondering if it was or if I'm just crazy. It sounded different to me, from what I remember him sounding like in Wano. But that might just be me. The VA might also just be doing it differently. I don't know. It sounded different to me. And I'm not always great at that. I'm not always great at noticing that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's one of two options. Either it is a different voice actor, or I am just crazy and forgetting what he sounded like. And I feel like there is an equal opportunity that both of those are correct. Knowing me. But yeah, this was a great episode with a great reveal. Really loved that. But tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of One Piece. Once again, this is the final One Piece reaction for 2025. There are 2 more episodes of the arc, and we will be getting to those at the start of the new year. They will be uploaded on January 5th. So yeah, be prepared for that. It'll be the only One Piece reaction at the start of the year. After that, it'll just One Piece will be over once again till April. But yeah, that's how we're gonna do it, because again, I take my break after this weekend. So yeah, again, outside of the last holiday special video, but technically I will have that recorded and technically pre-uploaded, scheduled to go up before I even take my break. So it's all good. It'll all work out in the end. So yeah, that is all the plans for now. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed, as always. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.